Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shota Diolusegun. Well, this is part 2 of time energy wave model and FoE visual representation of electron part 2. So this is the part 2. Well, what I want to do in this part 2 is that I want to expatiate on it. I want to explain the phenomenon of what is known as speed difference factor. Well, I want to expatiate and explain why is it that we have a asymmetric nature at quantum level relative to classical level. This part is very important, and from there we'll be able to see the perspective of symmetry. Science is based on symmetry, which is CPT symmetry, which means parity symmetry, time reverse symmetry, and other symmetries. But I want to focus more on the parity, PT, which is the parity and time reverse symmetry. So we're going to actually explore the diagram on the board to do justice to that. Now looking at this diagram, well, based on the previous the part 1 of this video, we already have the quantum mass worth, which is 9.109 times 10 raised power minus 31. Now by substituting this value in our formula, we arrive at the classical counterpart worth, which is 2,277,250,000 kilogram. So now the formula, which is the m equals to capital Um plus 4m, that is the formula of everything FoE. Now we use it to get the mass worth of quantum particle, and then use it to get the mass worth of classical object. So now by putting this quantum value, the quantum mass of electron, we get this counterpart value. Then we can as well just put this value in the formula to arrive back at this quantum mass worth. So with that, we know that yes, we can get the genuine value of classical worth and then the genuine value of a quantum worth. But how do we now get this genuine value? Now there is something I want you to pay attention to here. Now this time energy wave model models the reality of the universe as time wave, which is this one, as time wave travels inversely to energy wave. So we have time wave right here, and here energy wave. So now time travels like this, while energy wave travels oppositely to time wave. Now what this is telling us is that as time scales wide, then energy scales narrow or low. So when we have this kind of situation where there is low state of energy, when we have low energy state, then we have convergence of mass. So right here at the minimum point of energy, and then the maximum point of time, the minimum point of energy wave, and then the maximum point of time wave, then we have suspension of mass. So we have the quantum mass worth being suspended in this area, and as well the classical mass worth being suspended right here. Now what we're trying to track the quantum mass worth relative to classical mass worth. The formula of everything, what it does is that it extends energy beyond its limit threshold to arrive at the real value, real quantum value, and as well the real classical value. Now, what we now have here is that these are suspension of masses that we have both at classical and quantum levels. We get this value by extending energy beyond or to the point of spontaneous symmetry breaking, and so we have the real value to be this. But for us to have equilibrium of black hole singularity and evolutionary singularity, there must be a kind of polarization, which is time energy wave polarization. And for us to have that polarization effect, then there will be a compression of the excess value of, or the excess energy worth of the quantum mass worth. And so by that compression, we have a reduced value, which is 0.000000142. So that is the value that we have right there, because when you supply this magnitude of wave, well, I just want to quickly make some correction. You can see that here where I have the magnitude of wave, this is the value of magnitude of the wave, which is this is the magnitude of energy wave, which is 5.693125 times 10 raised power minus 448. Now, when you substitute this value into the formula, then we're going to get this particular value. So what that is telling us is that when an electron is in motion, then it tends to shed more of its mass worth, and so it is so tiny and so light. So basically what we have as cosmological space is the ambient energy field. We have ambient energy field of what is known as space. So we don't just have empty space as such. What is known as empty space is filled with energy. So right now we have electrons so tiny when it is in motion, and also when we supply the same magnitude of time wave into the formula, which is 5.693125 times 10 raised power 48, then we have this 1.4 times 10 raised power 88. Now in the previous in the part 1 of this video, I was saying that this particular value, I made reference to this actual classical mass worth that is bigger than the sun of our solar system. Well, the thing is, the mass of our solar system, I think it's about 1.9 times 1.9 or approximately 1.10 times 10 raised power 30. So based on my own convention, which is to say that when you have 1 point, you know what you have behind the point is not up to 1, and if you have raised power, that could be within the range of 1 to 2. So based on my convention, I'm saying that this is bigger than that particular value. But if the mathematical convention or convention is quite different from what I envisage in my mind, then whatever it is, that has no implication on the reality of what we are explaining right here. So now, then we now have this value, but when you look at it right from the quantum mechanics to classical mechanics, you see that we have from very low energy, very low mass worth to a big mass worth. So we can see that there are differences and changes in energy state, in energy level, as quantum mass travels right from the quantum level to classical level. So we have the transition from quantum level to classical level. Then what I want us to actually dissect here as well is that people have been saying that they do say that at quantum level you have a discrete energy measure. What that simply means is that the energy wave at quantum level is discrete, it means that it is not continuous. It is discrete and it has to do with whole number. But energy wave at classical level, we know that it is continuous. So I just want to expatiate more on that. Now, for us to get the reality of what is actually happening or what transpired, you see, the whole analogy to explain this would be like a TV screen. When you look at a TV screen, your TV screen is made up of pixels, and so there are like billions of pixels arranged on the TV screen. So when you have a big image that is clear, that image is actually that image comprises of billions of pixels. Now that clear image that you have, the overall clear image you have on the screen, if you zoom in into the image, like that is, you make it more wide to get to the level of each pixel. You see that as you are expanding the image to go deep into the image constituent or the image part, which is the pixels part, you see that the image will become blurry. The image will become blurry, and what that is telling you is that by drilling down into the image, you are going towards the quantum level, and by having it being blurry means that it is being disconnected from the continuous arrangement that makes it to be so clear. So from that we can say yes, truly at quantum level we have a discrete measure of energy and all that. But now the reality is this: if we could have mass worth at quantum level, is it not right to say that we have continuous wave pattern even in the discrete measure of quantum energy? This is what I'm trying to say. Now, if somebody should stand right on top of this wave at the peak of the wave here, now what the person will see that right from the point he is, there is contraction of time wave and contraction of energy wave towards singularity. So to him, he will actually see this whole thing as gravity phase, that is right from the mass is being decayed into singularity. So that is how we will see. And if the person should turn to the left, he will see the same thing. Now we can see that the inverse of this expansion and the inverse of the contraction phase of this wave, they will look the same to him based on where he is. Now, if this person should actually move, like he wants to move, or he wants to explore the whole thing as it is, then it will be right from the huge space, right from the wide space like this, down to the very small space. But the problem is this: don't forget that there is relativity effect, because this particular person is at a point where mass is very huge, and as a result of that, there is the energy level that this person is operating at is different from the energy level at quantum level. So now, as he's trying to explore relative to right from the classical realm down to the quantum realm, then he will be able to see what I explained the other time. He will be able to see the discrete nature of the quantum world, because the perspective of his observation is relative right from classical level to quantum level. That is it. So just as the big image that is clear to you on the board will tend to be blurry when you drill down into the image to a very small point of pixels, relative, because of the relativity of the big image to the pixelated image. Same way, this person will see a discrete nature of quantum realm because of the relativity of his of his classical mass level, or of his classical mass mechanics to quantum mass mechanics. But now let's look at it this way. If the person is right here at the point of evolutionary singularity, and he tends to observe the event or the operation as it the operation or event as it unfolds, then the person will see the expansion, and he will see the accumulation of masses up to the classical realm. Now the thing is, if this person should travel as the event unfolds, then the level at which this person is operating is the same with the energy level of quantum realm or quantum mechanics. So this person will be able to see the event at the same speed as it's getting to the classical realm. And as a result of that, it will not see the discrete nature of energy measure at quantum level. Instead, it would see the continuous emergence of the event. That's what it will say, because his energy level 2 is at the same level with the event that is unfolding. So that is the difference, that is the issue we have. And so you will see that we usually use classical mass worth to get the quantum mass worth. But in a situation where we don't have the classical mass worth, we can actually put the quantum mass worth to get the classical mass worth, and then use the classical mass worth to reconfirm the quantum mass worth. So what that is telling us is that we are performing the operation right from the classical realm, right from the classical mechanics down to the quantum mechanics. Then we need to account for that speed difference factor. The speed difference factor, we need to really account for it. And we can only account for that by making sure that we will extend energy beyond its limit threshold. So when we do that, we get the actual value for the quantum mass worth, and so the value can be compressed back to what will give us symmetry or symmetrical nature of a time energy wave model. So from here we see that whatever it is that we have within the time energy wave propagation will not be the real value. The only point where we can get the real value for the electron is when it reaches the point of spontaneous symmetry breaking. So what I'm saying in essence is that the symmetrical nature of time energy wave model, or any wave for that matter, is not a true representation of what is actually obtainable, or of what we should relate with. So what I'm trying to say is that we don't need to base our observation on symmetrical nature of wave, but symmetrical nature of wave is needed to have an equilibrium point, which is the point of singularity. So now, so right now, we can see that based on the relativity of classical mechanics to quantum mechanics, we tend to have a speed difference factor that we must account for, and that is being solved by formula of everything. So now this whole thing is synonymous to a situation whereby someone is right inside a transparent box. Now for the person to explore every room in that box, the person will have to go to the room to really know the condition of every room. For instance, if you are in the living room of that box, you can't just base your observation or your conclusion on symmetry, that okay, just as big as this living room is, so will the bedroom be. When you actually get to that bedroom, you might see that the bedroom is smaller than the living room. So what time energy wave model and formula of everything is doing is to flip. It flips the reality for us to actually witness and see the reality and judge based on that, and not by just assuming. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. We don't need to assume. We need to actually base our conclusion on the fact, not on the it shouldn't be based on symmetry. That is, we say the other side will be as this side is without getting to other side. That is what that is all about. But when you now have somebody who is outside the box, I said that the box is transparent. The person has information to every side of the building, so it has more detailed information about the building, so the person can actually flip the box and get to see all the rooms inside the box and then judge based on that. So well, what that is actually telling us is that we need to actually flip to get to the reality, and we see that by applying the formula of everything, it extends the whole energy limit threshold beyond what we are so conversant with. And it is this compression factor of energy wave that makes it to that gives us a phenomenon of uncertainty principle, which says that you cannot know the position of the particle and at the same time know the momentum of that same particle. But with this application now, we see that it is possible for us to know the position and the momentum of the particle at the same time, because we have traveled beyond the limit of light speed, and that is why we're able to do that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I want you to like this video, and then make sure you watch the part 1 before watching this, so that you'll be able to understand it quite all right. Like the video, share with your friends, then make sure you subscribe to this channel so as to be notified for the subsequent videos. Then comment, let me know what next you want me to do a video on. Don't forget that this is a novel discovery, and I have a publication of this on a peer-reviewed journal. So I'm going to put the link to that in the description below. Please explore the link, then you can as well apply the formula to confirm all this that we have on the board. Thank you. God bless you.